Hi guys, and welcome to Manc Pod. Last week we had quite a few people writing in, didn't we? Because we covered quite a few different topics. The chocolate making was popular actually. Quite a few people said they wanted to try that in Brussels.
Yeah, well, a few people messaged me and said, speaking about Brussels has made me want to go.
Oh, really?
And I feel like that's
Oh,
exactly
good.
what we want from the pod.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be able to talk about things and then for people to go, do you know what? I want to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well done for going to Brussels.
No, it's good. I'm glad that people are enjoying it. And I think as well, because I started talking about PMDD, I actually have been confirmed PMDD now.
Oh,
so,
have you?
Yeah. So I know what it is. So now I can manage it better. But that also, I think, hormones and like periods and things like that, I think we'll probably end up talking about that quite a lot in general. But yeah, the last pod went down really well, so that's
did,
good.
and so sorry about the pictures.
Yes.
It was tech.
Yeah.
We tried everything we could.
Yeah.
And nothing worked. So you just got the audio and that's fine.
But it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
so
is.
We just wanted to bring it to you anyway. So we tried to upload absolutely everything we could. So at least you still had the pod.
Yes, and we're back.
Yeah,
looking
we are.
good, so...
I'm looking like Edna Mode from The Incredibles.
I love this outfit. Where's it from?
Thanks. I actually can't remember. I've got it in my emails. I actually got it for Christmas and then never wore it because I thought it was a bit too tight around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'm on the come down now, slowly but surely. Getting back into swing things. So yeah, no, it fits me well. Thanks.
Nice. Well, you've got a nice little trip coming up, don't you? So you want to trim down for it.
Exactly. I am. I've got my friend's hen do at the end of this month, and then I'm going to Lisbon. I'm so excited.
You're gonna have the best time.
Yeah.
I went last year for one of my friend's hen do's, and I've never really wanted to go to Lisbon. It wasn't on the list.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like whatever. I'd been to Portugal before, to Albufeira, which is like a party place.
Yeah.
And it was fine. So I guess it was just because I didn't have like a great experience or a terrible experience. I was just whatever.
Not really bothered.
Not bothered about Portugal.
I heard so much good stuff about Lisbon. And actually, when looking into it and obviously researching the things to do, it's going to be so good. Like, we've got loads of activities planned, which we'll obviously go into later on. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit warmer. It's like
fingers crossed.
Yeah, because it's cold everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think it's probably one of my favourite cities in the world that I've ever been to.
Oh my gosh,
off the back of going, yeah.
I'm really excited now.
I just think it was absolutely beautiful. It's just a gorgeous
it's
city.
Pretty
and
city, yeah.
Like, they have those little trams that are going up. It's quite hilly in the city, but they've got those little trams that go around. It's just so pretty.
Yeah,
just really
you can't
nice.
go wrong, can you?
No, you can't.
And I think as well, like, because the hen whose hen do it is, she's actually been to Lisbon before, but she's been with her partner, and I think it's just going to be a different side to it. We're going to go out, we're going to do lots of activities, so it'll be really good.
Yeah, one little tip when you're there is, when I was there, they have like a market in the centre.
Time out.
And time out, but there's another one like in an outdoor market.
Okay.
Anyway, they had this stall called Sexy Pineapple, and you basically get a pina colada in a pineapple. So it's massive.
Yeah.
And you basically pay for the pineapple, not the actual alcohol.
Okay.
So they will just say to you,
and they fill it.
Yeah, they will say to you, tell me when to stop. So they will just keep pouring the Bacardi.
That sounds like it's going to be lethal.
It is. It's €15, or it was when I went. But it was only last year, so I imagine it won't change. €15, which feels spenny. But then...
So you can pay for a cocktail.
Yeah, but then after that, if you keep your pineapple, these sexy pineapples all over Lisbon, you can take your pineapple to any of them and get a top-up for €5. And they put as much Bacardi as you want in it. They would literally fill it to the top of Bacardi if you want. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a dream.
So you'll have to do that. I mean, not going to lie.
I'm going to be crawling around Lisbon.
Carrying a pineapple around, it was a bit annoying. Because I was like, they need to like have bags.
It's sticky as well, I guess, when you feel like it's been drinking and stuff. Yeah, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll carry a tote if I have to, with everyone's pineapples in it.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
But definitely do that. But yeah, you've got trips, so you want to trim down for that. I mean, don't we all? We all just want to trim down.
I know.
We've obviously got Ibiza this year, so we want to trim down for that
as
well.
Very
excited. But trying to organise things with a group of girls is always a challenge. When you get there, you think, oh my God, it was great. Let's do it again. Can't wait. But the actual organising, it's
just because obviously you just need one leader and then everyone to say yes or no. And once they've said yes or no, we can then go on to something else. But it's all the different ideas, which is obviously really good.
Yeah.
But I think one time, like, we just need to agree and just get it booked.
Yeah. So if you're coming on that trip, we're talking to you.
Yeah, we're gonna book it anyway, whether you're coming or not. We're gonna do it. But yeah, so that's exciting.
Yes.
What have you been up to recently?
So what have I been up to this week? So like last week, life has been lifing. We had a little games night at the weekend with some of our other friends, which was really nice. We bought a few new games.
Yeah.
So just trying to save money, here, there and everywhere. Because I've been out of work, we're just trying to find other ways to enjoy ourselves other than going out and spending loads on meals and drinks.
Yeah.
And it's actually been really beneficial for us because we were talking about it at the weekend and we feel like off the back of COVID, we were like, oh my God, we need to get out. And because we weren't allowed out for so long.
Trying to make the most of your time and everything.
The fact that we could go to bars and restaurants and stuff. Yeah. And it's kind of like we never got out of the habit of then doing that. So every weekend we'd go out for meals, we'd go out for drinks like Friday, Saturday.
It's expensive.
And we'd be spending hundreds of pounds a weekend.
I know.
And we now I've not been in work and I've not wanted to do that, even though Jamie's like, no, we can still do those things. I'm like, well, if I can't contribute as much, I don't feel comfortable
doing it.
Just having you pay for everything.
Yeah.
So
even though you're married.
I know, but it
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah,
though. Like, obviously he'll be skitting at one point when he's bought car stuff. So
yeah, I know, and it's absolutely fine. And obviously he doesn't mind. It's more of an internal thing. I don't want to be spending money that I don't have and saying.
It's because you don't know when the end date is going to be.
Exactly. Well, now I do. Now I do. So great news. I now have my next job lined up, which is very exciting.
Very excited.
And yeah, I'm really excited to start that. So I start that in a couple of weeks. So I have got now the rest of this week and next week off.
Yep.
So by the time the pod comes out, it'll be the rest of that week.
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing with my life is trying to do all the things that I could have been doing.
Trying to cram it into a really short space of time when you could have been doing it for weeks.
Yeah.
I agree. That is definitely something that I'm feeling right now because I'm obviously job hunting. I finished my contract at the end of this month. And in my head, I'm thinking, there's so many things that I wanted to do before, with my time off, before I go back to work full time. Yeah. Like, I just don't know how I'm going to do it.
I know, but it's like...
Skip runs, clear outs, deep cleaning stuff.
Decorating the house.
Yeah.
There's been so much, but I don't know whether it's one of those things that because I've been out of work and because I've been trying to just cut back on my spending, I'm thinking, well, I want to decorate the spare room. But I need money to decorate the spare room. Do I want to go and spend hundreds of pounds on paint, sofas,
supplies,
accessories, supplies? No, I don't. But now I know a job's coming. I'm like, okay, I can spend my money now because I know when my next paycheck's coming in. So yesterday I spent the day. I did a run, the gym, 10,000 steps with Rosie, decorated the kitchen. What else did I do? I did something else. Can't remember, but all of a sudden,
you just have those days though. Like I think sometimes you just get up in the morning. I get up early anyway, and I like to get up and get everything done in the space of a morning. But then in the afternoon, I have like a little bit of a lull, just probably like late afternoon when I start having lunch or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I've got so much to do, but I'll actually sat on the sofa now and I've sat down.
Yeah.
And then that's when I kind of slow down. But I think if I get up early and just get loads of stuff done, I don't feel as guilty about that.
Yeah, I know.
But I think like you're doing it right. You've got 2 weeks now, you're like, boom, let's go for it.
Definitely. So there is definitely loads that I want to try and cram into the next week. I just want to see my friends as well that are
off. You want to catch up with everyone.
Yeah, people have some time off, with that have got kids. So I want to try and see them because, as you know, in our industry, when it starts going, it's going.
Yeah.
And it's
like passing ships. You just don't see each other anymore.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to, I was actually speaking to a friend today actually who listens to the pod, and she's working as an AD in London at the moment, and she's been on it for months and months and months, and she's been away from home for that whole time. And I just think I do think it's really difficult to try and catch up with people when you're working so much, because once you're in that tunnel, you don't lift your head up until you come out the other side.
Yeah.
And it's only when you come out to the other side, it's like, oh my God, like what have I missed?
It is.
But it's just understanding that though.
It is.
And you're about to go in a tunnel.
I'm about to go in a tunnel.
You're going to have a great time.
I'm going to have a great time. So that is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to be productive. And I think it is really difficult to try and be productive with your time. I think sometimes you can feel overwhelmed with life. Which then is hard to be productive. I feel like we're at the age where work is working, life is lifing. You want to go to the gym, it's an hour. You want to walk your dog, an hour. You want to, do all your house jobs.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's just because we've got more responsibilities now. When we were younger, we lived at home, we didn't have any bills, we didn't have any overheads, we were just like living our lives, and all we had to worry about was how to get to work in the morning, how to get home again, and then catching up with friends. Whereas nowadays, there is so much more pressures there. I do think it's just getting older, unfortunately. There's
agree.
no way to change it.
I
It's just got
agree.
to manage it the best you can.
You do. So it's trying to find ways
Yeah.
to, even on the days where you don't feel productive,
Yeah.
to be productive.
Yeah.
And I think
Your 20% though is probably most people's 100%.
maybe, yeah. But I do think that writing things down and having a plan, whether that's having a diary, having an app, that, you know, at the end of every day, you either move your to-do list that you've not completed on that day to the next day, so you can literally see, this is what I need to get done.
I love ticking and crossing things off.
Same.
Like, nothing makes me feel so good than ticking and crossing things off.
Yeah. But I just think it is hard
to
be productive.
It uncrowds your brain as well, because I feel like sometimes your brain is so full. Like, how do you actually remember all that stuff?
Yeah.
Whereas when you write it down, you're like, oh yeah, I need to do that. And if you like do like a personal to-do list and a work to-do list, you can never go wrong. Even if it's on the same sheet, doesn't really matter. Just do it, and then you'll feel much better.
Were you talking about an app? Is there an app or something?
I've seen all these like really productive apps. I actually don't know what it's called. I've just seen it on Instagram, and it's basically been like, do you want help with your workflow? Do you want help with like trying to do your to-do list and organising, prioritising? Like, there's so many apps out there, and it's all like AI, obviously, because that's just like the life that we're living now. But I definitely think if you are struggling with your to-do list, look online and look at the AI. I've been tempted many, many times, but I just don't have time to figure it out.
I know.
But also, like, by the time I've figured that app out, I've already moved on to the next thing. Like, I've got hundreds of things that I have to cover all the time.
For me,
trying to spend all the plate.
Just using my diary, my calendar.
Oh, I love my diary.
I was chatting to my friend before, and I've triple booked myself for next week for one day because I've not put it in my diary. If it's not in the diary, it's not happening.
No.
It's not happening. So
me and Pun have got a joint one called Bay's Calendar, and me and Pun constantly put stuff in there, and at least then he knows then if his mates say, oh, let's go away for the weekend, he's like, yeah, lives at home, not doing anything, blah blah, let's go.
I think it is essential. I honestly think it's essential.
Think so.
Yeah.
I just think, like, how do you not live with your head in your diary?
If you are our age, in your 30s, and don't have
your calendar,
a diary, a calendar with things in, tell us how you do it, because there's no way. I wouldn't see anyone. I wouldn't get anything done if I didn't have a diary. All my appointments, everything goes in there. Yeah. Anytime I'm seeing a friend, it goes in there. People's birthdays, everything goes in there.
Any celebrations, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, other than like do the washing, walk the dog, but they're just dailies that just need to get done. The other thing I
also have is Countdown app. I have the Countdown app, but I only have that for like events or like big celebrations, because I like to look forward to stuff, and I like to see how many days it is till I go away, or how many days it is until you go to brunch or whatever. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Countdown app, obviously it's similar to the calendar. You just pop in your date and your time and everything, but it's better because you can see like, oh, you're 33 days away from going away or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like, in your head, it just gives you something to look forward to as well. So those are two things definitely.
Yeah, really good tips. I do think definitely nothing beats having your calendar, always putting things in, writing things down. I think is great. Having a whiteboard or a blackboard in your kitchen, for us, that's a place where we come in and out of every single day. And we have a notice board, invites,
shopping to-do list,
everything all goes on that. And I do think I've definitely got some friends, and their lives are so busy, especially when they've got kids or they're renovating houses and they're running their own businesses, that where do you even start on a day like that, when on top of that you want to go to the gym, you need to walk your dog, you want to see your friends? I think
you need to plan your time better.
I think it's that. I think it's sitting down and consciously saying, right, every single day I am going to put 15 minutes aside, whether that's when you wake up in the morning or whether that's before you go to bed, and I'm going to brain dump everything that I need to do for that day or for tomorrow. And then tomorrow, your head's then clear before you go to bed or clear before you start the day. And you can then crack on with the day. And I think
focus more. It just helps you focus, because you're not distracted by all the million things in your head at the same time. Yeah. And trying to juggle it all. You can just get on with it and actually carry the task out.
I think it helps you just be more positive in general as well. I do find on days where I've got so much on, unless I have basically a call sheet, on days where there's maybe something big going on, a wedding or a big night out or something, I have to hourly plan my day.
Same.
And even if that
I go backwards.
I do. Yeah. Even if that's in my head and I know, right, I've got an hour, 9 till 10 to work, 10 till 11 I'm going to start doing my makeup, 11 till 12 I'm going to walk the dog, 1 till 2 I'm going to do my hair. Yeah. It has to be that strict, because otherwise I wouldn't get out. Yeah. So I just think as well, like I said, it helps you have a more positive mindset, because I think if your mind is busy, you're already overwhelmed and frantic, and
Yeah.
it's just going to set yourself up to then spend a day procrastinating,
Stressing,
sat down,
stressing,
doing nothing,
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
don't want to do anything, just
Yeah.
being like lazy, because
Yeah.
I know that I can do that sometimes.
Yeah, I think we all can.
We're all guilty of it, aren't we? Have you seen the Grammys?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Can you watch the Grammys over here?
They
No.
were streaming some of it.
Oh, right,
But I watched the Grammys. Sabrina Carpenter, I'm obsessed with that woman.
Oh,
Like, she is a baby, isn't she? Like,
that blue dress.
what an icon.
Absolutely stunning.
And then she like whipped off that like tuxedo thing that she was wearing. She looked so good. And Taylor Swift is a girly girl. Like, she is like, she was cheerleading like no tomorrow for Sabrina. And she was getting lit. She had like bottles of Prosecco. She was like, woo!
Yeah. I
crowd.
saw a bit where Beyonce just won Album of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think she should have won that for like Lemonade or something. I didn't expect it to be like the Cowboy Carter.
Yeah. And she won Best Album of the Year and Best Country Album of the Year, didn't she? And they obviously stood up, and they were stood next to Taylor Swift was on the next table, and I was thinking, imagine being there. Imagine just being sat around in that room,
feeling
around
the energy,
that group of people. Like, I just can't imagine. I am manifesting that I will work on the Grammys one day.
Yeah,
we will work on the Grammys. Like, this is what I need in my life, because I just can't imagine being in that room with all those amazing inspirational people, and the conversations that must happen are like
wild.
Yes, I can't imagine just having a conversation like, hey, so what have you been up to? Oh, well, I was in LA yesterday, and then I went to the UK on Tuesday, and then I did this like promo thing. Like, it's
wild. It's another life,
another level.
But do you know what? I know you're gonna get there.
Yeah,
this is just the start.
Just the start.
So we are manifesting that.
We are.
If you work for the Grammys or have any sort of connection to the Grammys,
hit me up.
And need production managing, hit up Grace.
Hit me up.
She's available.
But back to Taylor Swift. I actually loved her little red dress. Do you know what I loved so much about it? That little leg chain.
Yeah, the little leg chain.
Because guess what? We're all going to have in Ibiza.
Yeah, leg chain.
We're having leg chains.
Yeah.
They're going to come through. They'll be on TikTok shop soon, I imagine, for £2.
100%.
With all our initials. We've got to get
that whole
them.
outfit. Like, she always looks very classy and elegant, no matter what. Like, obviously Taylor Swift, she's quite a slim, tall gal. Like, wearing a little tiny mini dress, you're like, God, she's like legs for days, but she still looks classy and gorgeous,
great.
doesn't she?
Yeah. Beyonce looks
beautiful.
great. Sabrina Carpenter looked great.
Jaden Smith was wearing some sort of weird
castle
house on his head. But Aldi have done a...
I know. I saw the meme.
Oh my God. Aldi have done like a big... Whoever does marketing for Aldi, they are nailing it.
Amazing.
Because they literally, as soon as anything happens, boom, they're on it. Like, that third aisle is covered in all sorts of stuff from the Grammys.
And what did the meme say? Can you remember? It's something like...
Someone want a dollhouse or something.
Yeah.
If you want a dollhouse, go to Aldi or middle aisle or something.
Yeah, and it was something like when... it was a meme of Beyonce, because when Beyonce won Best Country Album of the Year, she was like really shocked. She was shocked. And these memes are all over the place now. And Aldi have put, when legal come for us about something. And it's like Beyonce like...
there is a lot of like TV memes now with that. The face is like production hun, shocked that like gone over the catering numbers or something.
Yeah. But yeah, Jaden Smith with that castle on his head. I'm sorry, I want to know the designer. I'm sure it's online.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, but we're not at the Met Gala now.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why are we wearing like crazy outfits?
Do you wear that all night?
Kanye West's wife. Discuss.
That's Bianca Sensory, isn't it?
Yes,
Sensory.
it is. Sensory West now. She's married 2022.
I mean, do you know she's just, not just, but she's an architect for Yeezy. And then they secretly got married.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they secretly got married in December 2023 or 2024.
I think it's 2022.
22.
Because when I was reading up on
22.
Basically, I don't know if anyone's seen it, and if you haven't, please Google it. It'll be all over the internet. It's breaking the internet, in fact. And I think that's probably why they're doing it.
Absolutely, that's why they're doing it.
Kanye West Mrs. is wearing a sheer mini dress. No coverings for the nipples, for the puss.
None.
No,
none. Absolutely none. Yeah.
None. Yeah. But yeah, wild.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, you sent me a picture and I couldn't stop staring. I was like,
she looks incredible.
Wow.
But how, I think it's like, I don't know if it's like an embarrassment tactic, because she looks very like Kim Kardashian.
She does.
Like, insanely close.
She does.
That'd freak me the hell out.
Well, she looks like the Kardashians. I think she's definitely got maybe a look more of Kourtney there's definitely something. I don't know whether because she's. I mean, they're all quite short, aren't they? But
yeah,
I know what you mean. I think she's a hybrid Kim Courtney.
Yeah, she's like literally. It's like it clicked like reorder in the magazine, and she just appeared, and and she's like a doll, like isn't she? Version of it.
She is. I'm just really intrigued by them now and their relationship. Before this, I didn't even know Kanye remarried. I didn't know anything about.
Well, I kind of knew about her because of her wacky dress sense. He's like obsessed with dressing her up.
Yeah, but
in certain clothes.
He was the same with Kim. If you watch the Kardashians, Kim
she didn't know how to dress herself after they got divorced.
She didn't because she was like, Kanye always dressed me,
but now she's got her own clothing line.
I know.
Wild.
Yeah. But Bianca, I just wonder, like, who is she and where she come from? Because she was an architect for Yeezy. So she...
Sorry, I just had it in my head. Where did she come from? Where did she go? Where did she come from?
I know. Yeah, so...
but yeah, why? Like, why?
Like,
well, apparently, like, there was someone lip syncing.
Yeah.
Lip syncing.
Yeah.
And basically could read lips and them saying, now, like, drop the coat now. And I just think that's, like, really, like, it's obviously, like, pre-planned, preempted. Obviously, she was waiting for the reaction. And I think he said something like, you're making allegedly, he said to her, you're making a show of yourself, drop the coat. And she dropped the coat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether that just fits the narrative that we all want to believe, that he said that, because if we turn the sound off this,
yes,
no doubt people could come up with all sorts that we said.
True.
And the narrative that we have anyway,
painting him out to be a bad guy. Or whatever.
Because we already think he's a bad guy, so it fits that narrative. I've been on socials, I've seen everyone's comments saying he's embarrassing her, like she doesn't have freedom of choice herself, and maybe she doesn't. Who knows? Yeah. By the sound of it, they got married, and that was a two-way street. She wanted to get married to him, so she obviously is aware she has choices. So she didn't have to do that if she didn't want to, but obviously the narrative of Kanye and control and everything we've seen that Kim's spoke about
brings a lot of questions.
It does bring a lot of questions, but if you look at what she wears generally,
like, imagine like the father of your kids is married to this woman, which is fine. Obviously, they both moved on now, but in terms of like having her naked, literally in front of the whole world, let alone your children. That's just really bizarre to me.
It is, but I think Kanye is not even a person anymore, is he? He is just...
I am a god.
Exactly. His mind isn't normal at all. So, but I actually, looking at what Bianca normally wears when, not on a day-to-day, but all of her pat pics, almost every single one, she is wearing next to no clothes and they are all sheer, and 100%. She doesn't wear a bra with anything. So is that all Kanye? Is that her style? Who knows? I think it's a bit of both. I think if you're going to marry Kanye, you're probably a little bit crazy anyway. So,
but I think maybe she's just that's her taste and stuff, like, because obviously when you think about Kim Kardashian, remember when she wore that all black in one with her face covered and everything, and it was the most bizarre thing you've ever seen in your life.
And then when she was wrapped in the yellow tape, do you remember that was Balenciaga?
Lady Gaga situation. It was wild.
But again, that was for the Met Gala.
Yes.
Whereas this is the Grammys.
Yeah.
And people are going extra.
I think it is trying to be too much like the Met Gala at the moment.
Yeah. For me, I think that, but also they didn't actually go to the Grammys. They came. This is Kanye and Bianca. They came, did the red carpet, and left.
Oh God!
And there's stories saying they got escorted out, but apparently the truth is that they came and then left straight away.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So listen, there is a plan. I think with anyone of that caliber, they don't make one single move without there being an intention.
Calculation of some sort.
Everything is calculated. Absolutely everything.
Which actually brings me on to Love Island, calculating.
Go on.
There's a lot of games being played. I don't know if you're up to date on it.
I'm not up to date, but I am watching it.
So the other day, they did the dancing
challenge,
task. Yeah, the dancing challenge, where they get all done up and they all do like fancy dancing. Ekin Sue, my jaw...
Was it on the floor?
Was on the floor the whole time. On the floor the whole time. And then there's like a clip, and it's actually hilarious because a little bit early in their episode, so there's two people fighting over Curtis.
Would you though?
I know. But he's like body locking and body popping, or whatever you want to call it, to like Jason Derulo.
Ew.
And it's like 2 women are actually fighting over this man.
Ew.
Can we just have a minute?
Yeah.
Can we have a minute?
Ew.
It's wild.
To me, it's ew, and
it's just wild. Like, I don't like. Obviously, like, to be fair, like Ekin-Su is a very dramatic person anyway. I think
she's an actress.
The best of time. She's an actress. You liar. You actress. Get out.
Get out.
Yeah, I love that. So that's honestly one of the best lines.
Same.
But yeah, I think that she is playing up for the camera. She's very dramatic. She's very like me, I. But so I don't know if you probably saw this clip. They were talking, they were arguing, and Ekin-Su was mad at him for something that was really insignificant. And then she was like, oh, I really wish I had my mum and dad here. And he's like, oh yeah, I wish I had my mum here too. And the next minute, she's like, I really miss my mum and dad. And he's like, yeah, me too. And then she gets up and she just snogs his face off.
It's
the most bizarre thing.
I know. I honestly think that Ekin-Su and Curtis are together because
it's a show.
Ekin-Su knew. We all know what Curtis is like. He's just
a socially awkward person. He's a socially awkward person. It's fine.
He's very strictly, isn't he? Because he's a dancer and he's very cabaret and he's very camp.
In your face.
Yeah. And I think it takes a certain type of woman to like that kind of camp,
showing,
flamboyant type of guy.
Yeah.
But also they're generally the types of guy that maybe all the girls aren't running after. Which means if you...
guaranteed that
if you couple up with Curtis, you're probably not... All the other girls that come in maybe not going to want to go for Curtis.
Yeah.
So you might be safe till the end. Like, again, calculated.
Yeah, but a girl came in and was like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, of course, because they'll send girls in for that. Yeah. But it'll bring drama.
Yeah.
They're probably going to end up together.
Yeah.
And if they're not, it's creating great viewing.
Yeah.
Everyone's got opinions on that. You know, Curtis couldn't be any more different really from Davide, who she got with in the first series.
Complete polar opposites.
So I think when she went in, she knew exactly who she was going for. I think maybe Curtis saw Ekin-Su and thought, I mean, wow, she's going to go for me because she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'll couple up with her.
Wait till you see the dancing.
I saw the clip.
She was on all hands and knees, like crawling with her bum. And I mean, she looked
unreal.
I was like this with Pun. I was like, you're not looking. Because she did look amazing.
Yeah.
She did snog one of the boys, though, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
That wasn't Curtis. And that did cause a bit of a rift between her and a couple of the girls.
Yeah.
So, sorry if you haven't watched it, spoilers. But, yeah, a bit of a wild one.
Yeah, I mean... I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
I don't get any genuine vibes from Ekin-Su.
I don't get genuine vibes from any of them.
No, same.
I am enjoying this series, but I do think it's getting more and more far-fetched.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
By now, every single person that has gone in there are now influencers.
I know.
All have an agenda.
They all have a following already. Existing
so
following.
they just want to grow their platform, which is, I totally understand.
Yeah.
So what they're going in for is the most airtime.
Yeah.
To come out with the best deal.
The biggest reactions, regardless of whether good or bad.
Good or bad, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what Ekin-Su does in particular. But all the others, I think it's really difficult for them to now be genuine human beings.
Yeah.
Because we all know them from previous series and we all see what they've done since.
They're just so different now, I think.
Yeah.
I think obviously they're older and I think they bring a sense of maturity to it.
I
as
agree.
well, but I think like they're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
So also you can't be as petty and as daft as you were the first time round.
Definitely, and it is definitely different dynamic. Sorry, and I do like the fact that they're all older. So now I think the youngest one's probably 27, 28, and you've got Gabby in there who's 32.
You can relate to them better when they're older. I think from our age group.
Definitely.
I mean, obviously, when I was watching the previous series, I was like, oh my god, she's 20. I feel old.
I know, but I definitely think that it's just completely different in terms of. Back when you're a nobody going in, you go in there with the intention that
with the
intention that you're going to come out, someone's going to do your extensions for you, someone's going to sort your face out
for free.
You're going to come out and who knows where you're going to go with that excitement. Whereas now if you're going in, there's an agenda, there's an intention behind it. I don't just believe you're just going in for love.
No.
You're not, because you know what it can do for you. You've seen it happen once, so you can see it happen again.
Yeah.
You look at the 100%. Likes of Molly May and people like that, Maura Higgins, who's
sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit.
I was upset though. I thought, oh, come on, Maura needs to go back in.
That'd be so
but
good.
She went into I'm a Celebrity, didn't she? So I think she's only one thing at a time.
She did. And is she doing strict? No, she's not doing Strictly. She's not, but she's done Strictly, I think.
She has done it,
yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely is good.
I think being young though the first time round, obviously they're not as equipped. I think maybe like they run out of money quite quickly because they come out and they're just like, woo, all these followers, all this money, and then maybe they're going for a second chance of replenishing that money because they've just spent it all.
I think so. I definitely think the people that have gone in, they're the ones that you kind of go, who? Yeah, like, there's definitely a few faces that are in there that I think, I don't know who you are. And it's exactly like you said. They went in the first time. They got a couple of little deals.
Yeah.
But by going in again, those deals will come back and they'll help them get through the 30s.
Exactly.
They've got them through the 20s. They now need one for the 30s.
Yeah.
Hopefully off the back of that, they'll become presenters or whatever.
Get
but
careers,
fair play,
build
you know,
careers.
you've putting yourself, you know, in that limelight again. Obviously, I think Ekin is a pro.
Yeah.
I think she knows exactly what she's doing. Every interview that she goes into,
in what she does,
she says she wants to be an actress. This is where she wants to be. She's going down that.
She is an actress.
She is an actress.
She lives, eats, and breathes actress.
Everything she says.
Well, do you not think like it's like one of those dramatic people? It's like, oh
yeah. Every single time.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like genuine.
Yeah, like when Curtis comes over and goes, the girls go, are you okay? And she goes, I am fine, but I will not have anyone mug me off like that.
That's such a good impression.
Yeah.
It was when she was crying to, what's his face, with the hairline.
Oh, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Can we discuss Ronnie quickly?
No, he is not the
What
one.
is it about? Because girls seem
idea.
to... It's got to be
flock.
that...
They flock towards him.
It's got to be the kind of...
blinding. I have no idea why.
Same. It's got to be the kind of like bad boy, like I can do whatever I want. I'm a player. People must like that, but...
Wild.
Not for me.
I think like he's obviously getting on with Harriet now. And they were a thing last time. Is it real? Don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But I did think like when Ekin Su was crying it was actually quite hilarious. She was fake crying to Ronnie and she's like, no. Like there wasn't one single tear coming out of her eyeballs.
There never is.
And it's like crocodile tears.
I know, and when people leave and they've only been there 10 days and everyone's in tears, babe, you're going to see him in another 3 weeks at the red carpet. Don't worry about it.
Everyone's like full on like dying. Because like, oh my God, my best friend, I kicked my best friend out. Babes, you seen her in 2 weeks at the rap party.
So weird. So weird. I wonder what they've done with their money, whether some of them have invested it, whether some of them have like spent
Pissed up
it
the wall,
all.
probably, by the sound of it. That's all round back for round 2, aren't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. But
what would you do
if I won 50 grand? I mean, for me, I'd invest it.
Yeah, same.
I just think that when you come out of something like that,
You'd
50 grand isn't that much.
Yeah.
You'd want to instantly, you'd want to get on all the brands and deals straight away. Try and make that income
sturdy,
go further.
Yeah.
Grow it. I just want to invest it. I'd be getting some sort of financial advisor to come and advise on what I should do.
What should be invested in. Yeah. Shares, stocks and shares.
All of that type of stuff. That is exactly what I would do with it.
A savings account, like I love Monzo. I swear by Monzo.
Monzo's great.
And they have a variable one and then they have a fixed one. If you don't mind having a fixed one, because obviously you can't get the money out straight away, that is like quite high. I think it's like 3.95%.
Yeah.
Which is quite good.
Yeah.
Most banks aren't doing any.
Oh, no, I know. I'm on a variable.
Yeah.
With Monzo. Again, a Monzo girl through and through. And I think it might be 4.6%. So when I've got savings in there,
it does go up.
It's great. Every month. It's
a nice little like pay at the
every
end of the
month. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
we did it for the wedding as well. Like even when we're saving for the wedding or any events in general, like when we're saving for the honeymoon, when we're saving for the wedding, we literally put all our money into Monzo and then just tried to save as much as possible because it did go up. We ended up paying for like at least like 4 or 5 people's place at the wedding just by saving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Monzo now have lots of different things. They've got investment, so you can actually invest in Monzo. So it's not just putting it in a Monzo savings account with interest.
I've got one of those penny ones.
Oh,
you know, like where you have like shrapnel at the end and it's like you pay for a coffee and it was £4.98 and 2p goes into a pot.
Yeah.
I got one of those as well.
Yeah, same. Mine's called Holiday Pot and it's meant to all the roundups go in there.
Yeah.
And what I'm meant to do with that pot is just not look at it, save it. So then when I go to the airport,
you've got something.
I've then got money because again, you forget about that money at an airport, don't you? When you go and you think, oh well,
food, drinks.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you've spent 50 quid in the airport that you've not, and it's coming out of your holiday money. So that pot is meant for that. However, generally what I do is I see it that it's got 30 quid in and I go, oh, great, pay for my nails.
Exactly. I'm like that. I'm exactly the same.
But still, at least then I think it's not come out of my actual
Well,
pot.
you're still saving. You're still saving somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got pots all over the bloody place.
I think I've got 6 pots. I have a pot for everything.
Different
holidays,
things, yeah. Because your thing is as well, like me and Pun have got a joint account and we save joint as well. So we save joint, save separately, and we've got other pots that we just have spare change.
Yeah, yeah. And I have an investment pot now in Monzo, and I have an investment pot in with a company called Nutmeg.
Oh, that's good.
There's all sorts of ones. So there's
is Nutmeg like Monzo or Starling or whatever these are?
It's exactly like that. And there's another one beginning with not Revolve, something like that. Oh, I can't remember. Revolut.
Yes.
Revolut. So that came out around the same time, a few years ago, and Nutmeg just felt like the best one for me at the time.
Yeah.
And basically, if you don't know about this, which I imagine by now everyone knows about investing, but what's so good now is you don't have to know all about stocks and shares to invest your money.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure before you invest that you only invest money that you're willing to lose.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing with investing
100%.
to understand.
You need to be willing to lose it if you are investing it into
and
a pot.
And it needs to be money that you don't care about. So money that you're not going to think next month, oh shit, I need that because I'm going to go on holiday, or I need that to pay my bills.
It can't be your disposable income. It has to be non-negotiable.
It has to be money that you can completely forget about, and you can leave it in there, and it doesn't matter what you go through in your life.
Like 20 quid a month or whatever.
20 quid. I do £50 a month because for me, I know that even if I'm out of work for 6 months...
It's like £12 a week, isn't it?
I can still put £50 a month in. So Nutmeg for me, I had to put in a few £100s to start with. Most of them you have to put in an amount just to start it. Yeah. And since then I've put £50 a month in. So it's been going for 3 years now. And when you go in, it gives you like a little quiz questionnaire type thing, which is basically Nutmeg or Revolut Monzo trying to work out how happy you are, what risk level you want to take. So you can take a low risk, a medium risk, or a high risk. So based on...
High risk, high reward, but also high loss as well.
Exactly. So when you're answering the questions, it'll say things like, if you were to lose this money, how would you feel?
Yeah.
And if the rate was to go down and you to start seeing you losing money, how would you feel?
Yeah.
And if that is scared or I'd really hate it, I'd worried, I'd want to take my money out, it will give you a low risk investment. So it will only invest in things like bonds.
Which is good.
Yeah, not stocks and shares that can fluctuate a lot. Like bonds and government type things, they are quite secure.
Stable.
So the likelihood
they sort of rock up and down, but they tend to stay quite the same, don't they? Like you might have a small increase or a small drop, but tend to just stay the same.
Yeah, and you're probably going to be fine. So let's say you did it for 10 years.
It's a long game for that.
Exactly. And if you put 10 years, this is how long I want to do it for, it will then say to you, predicted, if you've put 10 grand in over 2 years, the predicted value by then will be 11 grand.
Yeah.
So the reward isn't great, but it's still £1,000 that you didn't have.
It's better more than what you had before.
Exactly. Whereas if you answer the questions and you go, oh, I'm not bothered, I'll be fine, I'm not really bothered. So it goes, okay, you're quite happy to take a bit of a bigger risk.
Yeah.
It will then say, okay, well, by the end of 10 years, if you've put 10 grand in, you're going to come out with 15 grand or 18 grand. So obviously that reward is going to be higher, which is great.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm on a high risk. Basically, it's all money that if you're investing, please only invest in money that you're not really bothered about.
Yeah.
You're willing to lose.
You need to be able to risk it if you want to invest it. And so obviously if you are worried about losing, it's like gambling, it's just like gambling. So if you're happy to lose it and you don't really mind, say it says 500 quid, a grand, maybe even a few grand over the space of a few years, and you don't mind losing it, then I definitely would invest it. But if you do mind, then I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely do your research on Nutmeg.
I've not actually heard of Nutmeg before.
Yeah, it's really good. So you have two options. So they will either do it for you, so they will completely invest all of your money in different pots that they think are going to grow, and you don't even need to look at it ever. Or you can do it yourself. So
you can choose.
You can choose where you want to invest it.
I like
so
that.
if you want to have more say and think, oh, well, Tesla's
doing
you
then, I guess.
Yeah,
a little bit. Obviously, it's nice for because obviously you think that they would specialise in it, but like they're never always going to get it right, and at least then you can't blame anybody else.
Yeah, well, exactly. But for me, the people that I just don't understand it enough. I don't really have the time or want to be doing it. And also, I'm like, if you know what you're doing, you
just crack
you
on.
do it.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and my nutmeg is looking quite good right now. I'm £500 up.
That's really good.
From what
That's
I've
really
actually
good.
put in. So
it's £500 more than what you had before. So
well,
why not?
Exactly.
And you're not in a rush. And so with that then, obviously you can't just keep pulling it out, whatever.
I can.
You can pull it out at any point.
I can pull it out at any point.
Oh, that's good.
It's in my account in the same day, same hour. Yeah.
So you can pull out the £500 but leave the rest in?
Yeah.
That's really clever.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. My plan is to leave it in for 10, 20
as long
years.
As you can. Yeah,
just as long as I can, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not doing any harm, is it? It's just sat there.
It's just sat there growing. Literally. Yeah. So, I mean, I do like it. And I do think...
We're at a day and age where we now need to start thinking about the long term.
Just thinking about the long term.
We work so hard. You deserve to have nice things eventually. Like,
yeah.
You obviously have goals, don't you, that you want to set? Because we've been talking about this, about setting goals and trying to aim for something. And I feel like that's a really good milestone to have. Like, when you get to this point and you've saved this much, that's a good point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I do think investing is definitely worthwhile. Do your research. Maybe nutmeg's for you, maybe it's not for you. But for me, it's doing well. And I think the final thing on this is that if you look over the last 100 years, every time the market has dipped, it's always come back.
Yeah.
So even it might dip for
just
10
time,
years or 5 years. Yeah. And as we know it, like in our lifetimes, we've had recessions and house prices have dropped massively and then they've shot up. But if you look
on the grand scheme, it's always gone back up again.
Always gone like this. So you'll see graphs of big dips, which is why investing is a long game.
100%.
A long game. Yeah.
So you heard it here first, guys. Girls who invest, make sure you get onto it. And if you haven't already, please follow our socials. You can follow us on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok.
Yes.
We'll catch you next week for another one of the pod.
See you
soon.
Bye.
Bye.